morning, beloveds. So I woke up at 5:15, saw the lightning, went back to bed, got up at 6:30 something, saw the lightning. We didn't get any rain. We could see the storm, but we never got any actual rain. And then we drove literally 1 mile to go to the park, and the park got rain. Not a whole lot, but you could see where, because underneath the trees it was still dry, but so maybe soon they're getting closer. But, and I think because of the storms, the squirrels were a little not having it this morning. Although we did get a really good, although they were snatch and grab blue jays. So I probably have plenty of pictures of dirt. We'll see. All right. It is September 9th. Our title is Spiritual Forgiveness. Our author is Alberta Smith, and this was published in Religious Science Monthly in August of 1929. So, spiritual forgiveness. In striving to overcome the lack of true compassion and spiritual forgiveness, we need to reflect love's healing, compassionate ministry to all who need it. Then the privilege may indeed be ours of binding up the brokenhearted. Perhaps one of the most striking illustrations of the quality of compassion and sibling love is given in the beautiful lesson portrayed in The Heart of the Bishop for Valjean, Jean Valjean, that immortal character in Les Miserables. The bishop took in for the night the outcast who stole his silver candlesticks. In the morning, the police brought the outcast back to the bishop's house. The bishop took in the situation at a glance and said, "Why, I gave him those candlesticks. They belong to him. Let him go." After the departure of the police, the good bishop put his hand on Valjean's shoulder and said, Jean Valjean, my brother, you belong to God now. And in that moment, divine love entered the outcast's heart, and he was transformed. Such is the miracle performed by love. Peter asked his Lord, "How many times shall I forgive?" He was willing to obey the new rules up to a certain point, but he thought there ought to be a recognized limit. This is why it seems so difficult for so many of us to grasp the principle of love. The Master calmly made the astounding statement, "Love your enemies," for he knew that it was salutary to love. Love is a creative force. One cannot become a good critic of music without first loving music. One can never understand people unless one begins by loving them. Wherever we see love, we see something divine, and wherever love is, there God is also. By seeing the true man, the bishop could pronounce the mistake of Jean Valjean forgiven and wiped out so far as his own consciousness was concerned. This much we can do for one another. Thus far is the atonement vicarious. Sometimes you read those and you're like, I just need to go away and think about those for a few minutes. And this is one of those. That is forgiveness is a heavy topic. Forgiveness absolutely is a heavy topic. And it can be a very contentious topic. Because why do we forgive? Why do we forgive? If you talk to somebody in the 12-step program, then they make amends, and they make amends where they can, but unless doing so would cause more harm to the person that they have. So they are seeking forgiveness with the understanding that they may not get it. And especially in those situations where them making amends would cause more harm, then they're definitely seeking forgiveness that they are never going to give. And then on the other side of the coin, those of us who are called to forgive harm that is done to us, and see, this is where I want to go away and think about it. Because here's where me being a woman is going to color my perception. Because frequently as women, we are asked to forgive and to take the person back into our graces who hurt us, with the full knowledge that they have not actually changed. And that's bullshit. Sorry. You know what I mean? We can forgive. But if we forgive with the full knowledge that they have not actually changed, then we do not have to take them back into our graces, into our good graces, okay? We do not ever have to give that person access to ourselves again. Because in this case, the forgiveness isn't for that person. Because if they haven't changed, then the forgiveness isn't going to do anything for them. But what we are doing on our end when we forgive is we are declaring that the situation no longer controls us. Okay? So we can forgive without ever letting that person back in. Now, to, I've already forgotten our author's name. To her point, in the bishop, Alberta Smith. Okay. To Alberta's point, and because she used Les Miserables, which I find really interesting, but that bishop did the same kind of forgiveness that Jesus did. In at least one of his parables, he saw the opportunity to transform. He saw in that person the willingness to transform with forgiveness. And so when the bishop said, "You belong to God now," he did that. And maybe he knew that Jean Valjean was willing to change his life. And maybe he didn't, but he took the chance. Because Jesus did the same thing. Jesus forgave with the knowing that the willingness of the person to transform would heal them. And that's what Alberta is talking about. It is the willingness to forgive with the possibility that the person that we are forgiving will make that transformation. Whether they do or not is ultimately has nothing to do with us outside of our willingness to forgive. Because there are people who are going to make that transformation without ever receiving the forgiveness. It's kind of like occasionally we have to accept an apology we're never going to get. Again, denoting that situation no longer controls us. And that's why they say the best apology is changed behavior. And so it's a two-sided coin there. But the point that I really agree with her is about love. Is about love. We forgive because we love. And we may not love the behavior that brought us to the situation of forgiveness, but we are willing to love that person enough to gift them the forgiveness. And again, it doesn't mean we ever have to give them access to ourselves, but we love that person enough to give them the gift of forgiveness. Okay? And then if they love themselves enough, because they don't have to love us. If they love themselves enough to allow that forgiveness to transform into that divine love and allow themselves to, and it's not even about changing, it's about revealing the divine within themselves. Okay. So, again, I'm going to go away and think about this. Forgiveness is one of those topics that you really should think about, meditate on your meditate on your, take it into meditation, take it into treatment, take it into your time with the source of your own being, for spiritual forgiveness. But she says the master calmly made the astounding statement, love your enemies, for he knew that it is salutary to love. Love is a creative force. One cannot become a good critic of music without first loving music. One can never understand people unless one begins by loving them. Wherever we see love, we see something divine. Wherever love is, there God is also. So, what would then be the mission today? Oh. Well, she says it. It's the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to be willing to see the true person and forgive and wipe out of our own consciousness. This much we can do for one another. Thus far is atonement vicarious. It almost sounds like what she's saying is that when actually it is in the prayer, that we forgive others as we would be forgiven. And when we forgive others, the atonement is vicarious. So, the mission today, should we choose to accept it? I mean, she says it fairly explicitly. To see the true person. To see the beloved child of God in front of you. Including forgiving yourself. I think it's Maya Angelou who says, forgive yourself for what you did when you didn't know better. And now that you know better, do better. I just really made a mess of that quote, but you know what I mean. And honestly, spiritual forgiveness, it is a gift you can give yourself. You don't have to just do vicarious atonement. You can forgive yourself. And then do better. Okay, so that's the mission today. To see the true person. To see the beloved child of God standing in front of you, especially when you're looking in a mirror. All right? The other mission is the same mission I give you every day, which is it is the spiritual practice of doing of self-care. Spiritual practice of self-care. What I say is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like. It can be taking a deep breath before you speak. It can be taking a walk. I mean, I had a nice walk in the park today. The most loving, kind, and compassionate thing I can do for myself is to take myself for a walk. And in the park. It was nice. And then to take a break. I mean, today is my day off. So today is the day that I will absolutely do that. So take a break. Okay. I just lost my train of thought. I'm going to take a nap today. That is another. See, that's one of those things where I can do multiple loving, kind, and compassionate things for me. And I want you to do it today. I ask you to start with one, but my goal is hopefully eventually all of the things that you do for yourself will be loving, kind, and compassionate. And sometimes the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing we can do for ourselves is the thing that we don't want to do. Okay? Make that appointment, make that phone call, do that task that you've been putting off. Yeah, it's not all planting roses. Sometimes we got to deal with the mulch. And that's loving, kind, and compassionate too. All right. Especially since we're talking about divine forgiveness today. And you know that I'm a big believer in eating dessert first, because I do believe that chocolate can be the first step to any solution. But it's a reminder, your life is a special occasion. Don't save the good stuff. I've been reading a lot of minimalist, I'm never going to be a minimalist, don't worry about that. But I've been reading a lot of the minimalist websites, the decluttering websites, and that's one of the things that they talk about. Don't save the good stuff. if you've got fancy china, use it now. Use it while it still means something to you, because the person that you're saving it for, it's not going to mean as much to them as it does to you. So use it now. You can still pass it on to them, just use it a little more oftenly. And I want to remind you that joy is a quality of God. Okay. So whatever is going on in the world, whatever is going on in your life, you still deserve joy. So please make room for joy. All right. Take care of yourself. Do loving, kind, and compassionate things for yourself. You are your own best test subject, but more importantly than that, you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. That's why I say it every day, because I want you to create that habit of let everything that you do for yourself and for others be loving, kind, and compassionate. And it doesn't mean you're not going to do the hard stuff, because that's what loving kindness is. We would call it tough love here. In the Eastern model, they call it loving kindness. And it's about doing what is best for the person. Okay? Including yourself. And sometimes that is the hard stuff. So, and there's no better way to do the hard stuff than to do it lovingly, kindly, and compassionately. All right, sugar. I don't know what that was. So, all right. The rest of the suggestions are the basic ones. Do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you. Drink plenty of water. Today is the day. If we hit 100 degrees, we meet the 2011 record of triple digit days. And if it hits it today and tomorrow, we break the record. I don't want to break that record, but just in case, hydrate. Your brain works better when it is well hydrated. Your body works better when it is well hydrated. Your skin looks better when it's well hydrated. Drink plenty of water. And then get that early in your day bright light. So we were in the park before the sun came out because, there were clouds. There were lots of clouds. It was nice to see all of the clouds. It would have been nice to see the rain, but hey, I'll take clouds. But I did get some, direct sunlight. So that will, I went out to reset my circadian rhythm, and that's 5 to 10 minutes of direct sunlight on your face in the 7 to 9 hour. That's what I'm talking about. If you can't do that, or you get up before the sun, or, whatever, artificial light will help too. It's just bright light, 5 to 10 minutes. It'll help reset that natural hormone cycle, and you will feel better. You will have more energy during the day. You'll sleep better at night. So, and as we are coming into the fall, if this is an issue, I was diagnosed with seasonal affect disorder. You can Google seasonal affect disorder lamps. They're real things. And they work. So if you need that extra support, then please look into them. I'm not getting a kickback from it. I just want you to feel better. So, I believe, whatever it takes. All right. And then I'm going to tell you my Ernest Holmes quote: open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time, because it's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. When we recognize that everything around us is made of one source, which is God, then that means it's all God. Okay? Which means we already live in heaven because it's all God, right? Then it's up to us to change our minds, to create that mindset, to create that state of consciousness, to create that state of mind. And once we learn to do it, you want to talk about grace, because nobody can take it away from you once you learn to do it for yourself. So, And by opening the windows of our soul, allowing ourselves to be open and vulnerable and aware of, the world around us, heaven ceases to be a place we have to get to and can become any place we are. Okay. That's why I call it a superpower, state of mind, state of consciousness. And Emma Curtis Hopkins has the best advice: look for the good and praise it. I mean, science shows if you want to change a bad mood, volunteer. It will go a long way to making you feel better. So look for the good and praise it. And you know what? I'm going to remind you that in every situation, there is always good, because you are there and you are good. All right. I'll get off that soapbox. And I'll just jump right into the social media. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. We try and post light, bright, funny, uplifting, and celebratory stuff. So please avail yourself of that content. If you want to know what's going on with the center or get links that will take you to some of the various social medias, then you can email info@creativelife.org, and that'll get you on a constant contact. And those hot links are hot. If it says click here now, then it means click. It'll take you right to the information or to the person you want. Like, there is a link that will take you right to the Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube page, to the Soul Session playlist, which is the best playlist, because yeah, that's where Jesse has these amazing conversations with people. So, all right. Now I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a spiritual forgiveness day, a know who you are day, a check something like I don't know what I'm about to say day. It's okay day, a catter day, a rain dance day, a I'm just being silly day, and it's okay day, a good day. And if that's too much pressure, simply have a day. You're enough just as you are. You're a beloved child of God. I'm a beloved child of God even when I'm being incredibly silly, which is what I'm doing right now. But you are a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. I encourage you to explore the truth of your being. Get to know who God knows you to be. Like, as I like to say, peel back the layers of who you have been told you are and find out who God knows you to be. And I can promise you that that person is good. That person is amazing. That person is cool. So get to know that person. And then see them when you look in the mirror. All right. I'm ready to cut the silliness off. And but I am going to remind you, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. And as today is Saturday, that means that we will have an amazing service for you on Facebook Live at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So please look out for that. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.